Hello, and thank you for watching my presentation for Diversity, Technology, and Learning. I'm Brian Fredricks, and I am an orchestra director in Clayton County, Georgia. My final project was a digital citizenship and Garageband project-based learning which integrated the National Core Arts Music Standards with the International Society for Technology Education Standards and engaged my students with music they created themselves. After learning the necessary copyright and digital citizenship lessons, students in small groups created a beat, a melody, and possibly lyrics to a composition in GarageBand. By joining independent small groups and composing a piece of music within specified guidelines, my students demonstrated mastery of all 4 objectives in this PBL. Next, my students uploaded the GarageBand file to the GarageBand community, then documented and presented their online interactions to the class using Canvas slides.
I teach orchestra in Rex Mill Middle Magnet School, a middle school located outside a major metropolitan area in the southeastern United States. The College and Career Ready Performance Index, or CCRPI, for Rex Mill Magnet Middle School reveals test scores, student progress, and equity are below average. Rex Mill is a magnet school and excels in a couple subjects, while 93% of the Rex Mill students are classified as low income. The participants in this digital citizenship and GarageBand PBL were 6th grade orchestra students split into 2 classes. The A-Day 6th grade orchestra's 25 students and the B-Day 6th grade orchestra's 30 students participated in this PBL in November 2022, which is toward the end of the semester. The objective of the 6th grade orchestra course is to connect learning a musical instrument to the real world, such as learning about becoming an artist, DJ, producer, songwriter, sound technician, music educator, etc. Most of the 6th grade orchestra students in Rex Mill identify as Black or Hispanic, but a few of them identify as Asian, white, and 2 or more races. The learning objectives for this GarageBand and Digital Citizenship PBL are: Objective 1. The students will define copyright and explain how it applies to creative work. Objective 2. The students will describe their rights and responsibilities as creators. Objective 3. The students will compose a new piece of music using the iOS app GarageBand. Objective 4. The students will apply copyright principles to real-life scenarios. The National Core Art Standards this PBL addressed are: compose and improvise ideas for melodies and rhythmic passages based on characteristics of music or text studied in rehearsal, and select and develop draft melodies and rhythmic passages that demonstrate understanding of characteristics of music or text studied in rehearsal. The ISTE standards this PBL addressed are: 1.2 Digital Citizen. Students recognize the rights, responsibilities, and opportunities of living, learning, and working in an interconnected digital world, and they act and model in ways that are safe, legal, and ethical. 1.2b Digital Citizen. Students engage in positive, safe, legal, and ethical behavior when using technology, including social interactions online or when using network devices. 1.2c Digital Citizen. Students demonstrate an understanding of and respect for the rights and obligations of using and sharing intellectual property. The home base for students during the course of this PBL features Bitmoji Craze for Educators. Bitmoji Craze for Educators is an app which allows a teacher to create cute avatars which run virtual classrooms. I created a Bitmoji classroom which students easily accessed through Canvas on their one-to-one Chromebooks. The Bitmoji virtual classroom contains 6 steps for the students to follow independently during their 3rd and 4th class periods in this PBL. In the first class period, I actually showed both steps 1 and 2 to the entire class, the videos. In the 3rd class period, the students created their project song in GarageBand, and some even used the opportunity to share it on the Boxlight projector in the classroom. I was supposed to assign groups in the 3rd class, but the students needed more time learning GarageBand and uploading their music to the GarageBand community. In the 4th class period, the students worked independently on finishing up their GarageBand project, uploading the project to the GarageBand community, then starting their Canva presentation with their group. It took until the 6th class period before the students were ready to present on Canva, and that was only one group that was ready at first, and then the rest of them completed it the rest of the class. The Bitmoji Classroom contains a link to upload the group presentations and a link for students to take an exit survey. The exit survey was a final check for understanding to ensure the students understood the objectives and standards behind the PBL. Overall, accommodations included the students needing more time to complete tasks, needing loaner iPads for me for various reasons, and needing feedback from their in-person peers in case the GarageBand community missed their song. As students work in groups, the instructor will walk around the room with the daily participation rubric. The instructor should grade each individual student's participation every day the class is completing the project. Each group will present their Canvas slideshow for a grade based on the slideshow and presentation rubric. The Canvas presentation itself consists of one grade for each student based on their contribution to the slideshow and another grade for the presentation to the class. This second grade, the presentation, also uses the slideshow and presentation rubric. There is a final rubric to measure each student's audience and listening skills. The participation rubric contains blocks such as consistently, actively, supports, engages, listens and responds to peers, takes a leading role. The slideshow rubric contains blocks such as presentation main points are clear and well developed, information is linked to presentation topic, information is organized. The presentation rubric contains blocks such as speaker's voice is confident, steady, strong, and clear. Speaker uses inflections to emphasize key points or to create interest. The active listening as an audience rubric contains blocks such as student faces the speaker with both their face and body. Student's eyes gaze at the speaker's face and eyes the entire presentation. The instructor should also allow peers to offer glows and grows after each group's presentation. Glows and grows are feedback and recommendations about the presentation and content the student just observed. Other documentation for evidence of learning are the Copyright Student Handout, the Digital Citizens Report Student Handout, the Fair and Square Student Handout, the GarageBand project itself, and the group presentation in Canva. Finally, the summative exit survey or digital writing assignment in the multimedia instructional material, the Bitmoji virtual classroom step. For my test run, I tested the majority of the lesson plan from the learning objectives and lesson plan with participants from both 6th grade orchestras. I ended up skipping a couple sections after seeing the participants' experience and tuning upcoming lessons. When I introduced the very first lesson, several of the students did not understand exactly what I meant by GarageBand. Rather than building knowledge about copyright and digital citizenship, several students complained on the first day because they did not bring their phone to class or did not possess an iOS iPhone to use GarageBand. During the second class, most of the students brought charged Chromebooks and phones equipped with GarageBand, but some students still needed the same accommodations as the day before. About half of the students in each class did not have their own Chromebook or an iPhone for various reasons. I ended up pairing students up so they could complete the copyright and digital citizenship handouts. During the third class, my students needed my help to upload their GarageBand deliverable to the GarageBand community. Online interactions were not immediate, and many students never received feedback from virtual GarageBand users. Even with an entire fourth class, many of the Canva presentations looked unfinished and most of the groups had not started planning their presentation. In the test run, students needed half of the fifth class to complete their Canva presentations, and only one group presented during the second half of the fifth class. During the presentations in the sixth class, I scribbled grades for the presentations quickly, but I also needed rubrics open for the individuals watching the presentations. I need a second pair of eyes, like a responsible student, to help me grade the audience members during presentations, or record the presentations to view and grade later.
In the future, I should spend at least one class period before this unit begins explaining what GarageBand is, ensure students bring their phones the first day of class, and pair up students who have an iOS device with students who do not have one so everyone can complete the handouts and, of course, the GarageBand activities. I will explain the purpose of a small group and why it is important to keep a small group small. Students who wish to work individually should consider the necessity of collaboration in the professional world. I will explain the procedure for proper listening before the first presentation as an advanced organizer, and I will ask a responsible student to observe the audience and make notes of which students listened exceptionally well and which ones listened exceptionally poorly. I needed to facilitate with accommodations, but after about 6 class periods, my students all accomplished the objectives in this PBL. So thank you again for watching my presentation.